What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this we have British things that just make sense, except not really. We were back with another reaction to Adventures in Apps, here with Alana once again. You guys make sure y'all go check out her channel, subscribe. She has amazing content, and I will link her original video down in the description for those who would like to see. Also, if you happen to enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe, give a video a thumbs up, and if you'd like to support this channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit the join button, receive your exclusive benefits. Let's get right to it.
The UK is full of British things that just make sense to British people only. Hi everyone, it's me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alana and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 7 years, and today I'm going to show you things that just make sense, but not really. So without further ado, let's go. Plugs.
Sorry, I had.
Do you mind if we talk about plugs for a few minutes? So, welcome to the floor. This is like behind my chair where I normally film. Have a look at my plant. He's going crazy. Anywho, this is the floodlight that I use for most of my YouTube videos, like behind my chair, and it is plugged into this beautiful outlet here. British things that just make sense. This is so stupid, but I've never seen this before. Having power outlets or power switches on plugs.
I feel that.
I'm not using the right word. I've never seen on-off switches, power switches on outlets. That's what I'm saying. Now, when I first moved to the UK nearly 8 years ago, I know, my God. Am I still relevant? I hope so. This drove me crazy because I was obsessed about turning everything off at the plug. And I'm sure some people say, oh, it saves you money if you turn it off at the plug. Does it really? Where's the data on that? Now let me tell you, I wasn't really doing it for the money concept. I was doing it because I couldn't stand, say it's like this, where this one is off and this one is on and there's nothing in it. Wow, I can't. No. Now nearly 8 years on, my OCD around the on-off switch on plugs has kind of died down, but I'll tell you, there's one at the gym. This is so cringe. There is a outlet. Did you hear that truck outside? Sorry. There's an outlet at the gym. There's never anything plugged into it. It's just there. It's like where all the lockers are and stuff. So I see it all the time. And I go in, never anything plugged in. But if one of the sides is on and there is nothing plugged in, you know I'm turning it off. I literally can't stop. As a Canadian, I spent a lot of time in America as well. As a North American, never seen this across the pond with the little switches.
It doesn't exist
just
over
fascinating. Here. And it's one of those things that you never really think about until you move to a foreign country and you're like, wow, the power outlets are weird, aren't they? Here in the UK,
I feel like, where I sit on that is, I think that's awesome. If anyone, like you said, anyone got data on like exactly how much money it does save to turn your outlets off when not using them, I'd love to hear it. Like I'd love to see it, hear it. Tell me, has anybody tried testing it, experimenting? I don't know. For me personally, I'd probably be the one that plugged something in and like thought my phone was charging, and then come back an hour or so later and my phone has not charged a bit, and it's because I didn't hit the switch, and I get so freaking upset. So me, I while I love the thought of having switches on your outlets, it's just a smart thing. I'd probably keep them on all the time. Like I just, depending on the money saved, like if it's like $10 a month to keep them on, I'm probably just gonna keep them on. So it just depends on how much you're actually saving by switching them off. But that's where I see it on the outlet.
Vacuum
switches
might
on
have a face on it. Yes, who doesn't love Henry? Look at that little smile. Hey guys, Alana here. Oh. Look at that face. Anyway, do you know that I live stream on Twitch? It's a little bit like YouTube After Dark. It is a very funny community, and it is free if you want to hang out. So I am there every Sunday and Wednesday nights, starting at 5:30 p.m. local time here in the UK. I will just say, a lot of people see the word Twitch and they think video games, and they're like, I'm not interested, which, fair. I get it. Sometimes we play games, but more often than not, we're just hanging out. Sometimes I'll do a craft. It's really just a community live stream hangout. So please come join us at twitch.tv/adventures in apps. If you follow me on Twitch, you'll be notified every time I go live, but I am always there Sunday and Wednesday nights. Now I can safely say that my vacuum back home in Canada did not have a face, a personality, or a family. Did you know that? Yes,
he got a family?
Henry, but there are many other in Henry's family. Like way more than I thought. I had to write them down because there's so many. So of course
I knew about Henry. I've seen this in other videos. I've also seen Henry on Taskmaster. I did not know that Henry had a family. This is news to me.
We have Henry, the patriarch of the Hoover family, but we also have Henry Home, Henry Pet, Henry Allergy, Henry Extra Large Plus, Henry Cordless, Henry Wash, Henry Eco, and Henry Extra.
So just a bunch of Henrys out here. We got a bunch of Henrys for a bunch of different scenarios. Can I get a Henry that does it all? Can I just get one Henry that takes care of all of it?
Then we have Hetty, seemingly the only female Hoover. We also have Hetty, but yellow, and Hetty, but lilac. Then, of course, we have James, George, Charles, and Harry. The whole family is here. Now, years ago, I used to have just the classic Henry Hoover, and as much as I love his little face and his little smile, I actually kind of hated it. There was something that was so frustrating about hoovering, vacuuming my flat, and his little squat body would get stuck on a corner, on an edge of something, and I'd be like tugging to try and get him loose. Drove me crazy. I don't like vacuuming on the best of days, so when Henry got stuck on something, I was going to lose my mind. Now, I will say, I didn't know this, and I don't know how well known this information is, but did you know you can get, like, the Henry range, but in, like, the newer design, where you're not pulling around his carcass behind you, his little body. He's, like, in the upright situation. Did you know that those exist? Because they do.
Call that the Henry upgrade. The Henry upgrade. I would absolutely prefer to have that one than the big wide body Henry.
Leave a comment down below. Do you have a Henry? Perhaps Henry Extra, or Charles even, or Hetty, the yellow one? Stairs. Now here in the UK, the first floor is not actually the first, it's the second. Now, this one, it still confuses me, and the problem I have now is I can't remember what North America does versus what the UK does. Like, when I'm here, I don't know, is it the Brits that do ground floor, first floor, or is that America, so it's actually first floor, second floor? I can't keep...
I feel like if it got stairs, we're calling it the second floor. In America, we're calling it that. But, like... certain, like, I guess buildings maybe for businesses might have like ground floor or garage, and then like first floor, second. So they might, but I feel like in a house, most people are gonna say the bottom is the first floor, and if you have stairs, you're on the second floor. That second, like a 2-story house, means you got stairs that lead up to another story section of the house. So first floor, second floor, I believe, is in general the American thing.
Keep it in my head which one is which. So at this point, if like I'm going to an appointment or something and they're like, oh, we're on the first floor. Do you mean the first one or the second one? Do you mean the ground floor, first floor, second floor? In my humble opinion, ground floor, first floor makes sense. I get it. But also first floor.
Yeah.
Second floor. It makes sense too, doesn't it? Or is that just me? I guess my main problem
is, I agree with you.
I don't know which country does which. So when I'm in any country, I just hope it never comes up in an important conversation, because I just can't remember. Ground floor, first floor.
First floor. I'm going first
I don't
floor.
know. Another British thing that just
First
makes
floor,
sense.
second floor.
Well, of course, it's browsing hours. Now, I naively did not know this was a thing until it was too late. So one day I went to the gym and I realized that I didn't have something for lunch. Like, I literally just needed, like, chicken and one other thing. And I was like, okay, well, I'm disgusting from the gym, but I'm just going to pop into Morrison's real quick. Just run in, get my things, and go home. So I get to Morrison's, I grab my 2 things, I run over to the tills, and they're all shut. And I thought, is something wrong? Like, has something happened? There's nobody at the tills, but also the self-checkouts were locked. You could not use a self-checkout.
So the store closed.
There, and I'm disgusting because, you know, sweaty and gross. And I'm holding my 2 things, and I realized that there's like a little queue around the self-checkout. And I was like, I don't understand what's going on. We're all just standing around like lemons. And then I realized it was the store's browsing time.
I don't know what that means.
Which still blows my mind. So basically, there are laws around trading hours in stores on Sundays. So from my limited understanding,
on Sundays,
for large shops in England and Wales, so shops of like a certain square footage, on Sundays, they can only be open for 6 consecutive hours between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. But what I didn't realize is this particular Morrison's opened at like 9. So you had this like browsing hour, right? So the store is open and you can browse, but the shop is not legally trading. The only time you could actually check out would be between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. So like, I get it. It's like a little mini loophole. The store's still open. If you're doing like a big shop, you know, you could mosey on to the store, but you cannot check out until 10 a.m. It just, I get it. But it's also so weird. Especially now with so many self-checkouts, which is what I use, right? Normally, I just have a couple of things I just want to run through, self-checkout, and get out, right? And so seeing the self-checkouts all locked and all of us just standing there with our stuff, it was a real cultural experience for me. Hello, I would like to talk about British.
I just feel like that's... Although I get it, if you're doing a big shop, you can just get everything, and as soon as the hour's over, you're good to go. But that's just frustrating. I'd prefer you just close the store. But that's my preference. That's me personally. I don't like that. Browsing hours. I feel like you may just say, hey, this store can only be open for 6 hours on the day. On Sundays, it can only be open 6 hours. Let everybody go have their family time. Let everybody go rest and relax. But I don't like a browsing hour. But I guess that's just because I don't understand it. So that may just be me. Again, y'all talk to me in the comment section. How much you guys actually go to the store during browsing hour? And how is the process? Talk to me.
Apps. In particular, how much I love this one. Now, of course, British things that just make sense. I'm talking about separate hot and cold taps. Now, you might be saying, Alana, that's not a separate hot and cold. And yes, you would be correct. I have lived in 4 different properties here in England. This is the first one that has this, a combined tap. Now, historically, taps were kept separate because hot water was stored differently than cold water. I think hot water was usually contaminated, and so they were trying to keep the water streams separate. So you'd have 2 taps. You'd have your hot tap, and you'd have your cold tap. And the thing that I always loved is the hot tap would scald you immediately, and the cold tap would be like ice. So if you needed to wash your hands, or God forbid, wash your face,
gotta do both of them.
Do I want to scald my skin so badly that it falls off, or would I like to be frozen? The choice is yours.
I'll take the scald.
I'm very grateful for these. I never thought I would even think about this kind of thing because, of course, combined taps are the standard in North America. You might see separate in really, really old homes.
I haven't seen it.
But otherwise, no. You ever just think about your life? Like, I never considered one day I would be here talking about a tap, how much I love it. But here we are. Do you still have separate taps? Leave a comment down below. And if you do, I'm so sorry. It sucks, I know. It's just one of those things that really made me question my own existence. I just hated them so much. And you know what? I totally forgot about them until this video, and I was like, wow, I am so grateful for this. Another British thing that
I feel like, that I knew about the separate taps. I've seen that in many other videos about separate taps. I didn't know that it was due to the hot water being contaminated and the cold water being fit for drinking. That's the first time I've ever heard that explanation. So that is very interesting. But yeah, nowadays, just one tap. Be able to do it all in one tap. No need for two taps. No need for the making your choice whether you want to burn to death or freeze to death. Just do one tap.
Just makes sense is asking someone if they're all right and praying they don't actually answer. Polite, but you don't actually want them to respond. Now this
That's
really
American
me for the
too.
First few years living in the UK, because back home in North America, if somebody asks you, "Are you all right?" it's because you look like you're going to die. The only time you would ask anybody in North America, "Are you all right?" Of course, Brits usually say "you all right." They drop the R. Yeah. You all right? Are you all right? Is because you look really, really bad. You're either actively crying or you're so horrible looking that they think you might pass away. So here in the UK, when a stranger would ask, "You all right?" I thought, my instinct, my gut reaction was like, wow, I must look terrible today. But of course, it is a very non-committal kind of greeting here in the UK. Brits will ask you all right. They really don't want you to answer in any sort of meaningful way because that would be quite awkward. They're just trying to be polite. It's just like a throwaway greeting. So back home in the US and Canada, it's very similar to saying like, "Hey, what's up?" It's not really like a deep question. You're just kind of like, "Hey, how's it going?" You just sort of like, it's a throwaway line. Personally, I don't say "you all right" to strangers because it sounds so bad in my accent. Like, I just can't. "You all right?" So I don't say it yet.
You good?
And I always kind of feel a little bit bad when I don't say it to a British person. I don't want to seem rude. It's just like, it sounds so heinous in my accent. But if you are a foreigner here in the UK, whether you've come to live or to work or for school or just hanging out, if a British person asks, "You all right?" you better not answer. Okay? Don't tell them about your latest doctor's visit or about how your cat just died. Or like your
I feel that
TV show just ended and you're really upset. Or your boyfriend dumped you. Okay, no. Don't say any of that. Simply respond saying, "Yeah, you." Another British thing that just...
I feel like that's a big thing. Even though I completely understand where she's coming from, or she's saying in North America, like, if I ask you, "Are you all right?" that means like something... You look like something seriously wrong. But on the other hand, I ask people all the time, like, maybe family, friends, "Hey, like, how's everything been?" I don't want a long, drawn-out answer. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want a long, drawn-out answer. Because when somebody, hey, how you been?" "I've been good. What about you, man?" "Oh, good. I can't complain." "Oh, awesome, man. It's nice to see you." And we go about our day. I don't want to, "Hey, how you been, man?" "I've been good. I've been going this happened, and this happened, and this is..." No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I wanted "I'm good. What about you?" "I'm good. Cool. Nice to see you." Go about. But I'm just like, even though it seems like I talk a lot in these videos, outside of like doing these reactions, doing YouTube, I'm not someone who like loves to talk. I enjoy like my quiet. I'll scroll on my phone. Now I'll play with my child, and of course I gotta talk and be very communicative and excited with him. But like long drawn conversations, I'm not one for them. I'm not one to enjoy it. My wife is like different. Like, she'll FaceTime with her family 3-4 times a day for hours on end, and they'll just talk, and I'm just not cut out for it. We get on the phone. After about 10 minutes, I'm ready to hang up. It's been too long. So yeah, I'm more introverted. I'm not a big talker outside of this. This is easy for me because although I'm talking to you guys and you guys are watching me, I'm talking to a camera at the same time. So it's more easy than talking to a person, if you get what I'm saying. Anyways, let's go back to the video.
This makes sense. A cup of tea can solve all your problems.
Does that say
bad day at work? Have a cuppa. Just been dumped? Have a cuppa. Your house just burned down. Your job made you redundant, and your wife left you?
Jesus.
I've definitely turned the corner on tea. I never drank tea in Canada, ever. Like probably twice in my 22 years of life living in Canada. And I still have a coffee every morning. That's not going to change. But there is something to be said, okay? There is something to be said about a nice cuppa. And sometimes, especially now, beautiful November, it's actually sunny out today, which is shocking. But guess what? That sun is going to set at 4:12. It's going to be dark.
Not 4:12.
And you know what? I am going to have a cuppa. And it will solve most of my problems. Something that still I
have seen in many videos about the cuppa. You have a cup of tea for any and everything. I don't like hot drinks at all. Coffee, tea, hot chocolate. Don't matter. I'm not a hot drinker. I'm good with the water or soda. I can do juice, but I don't prefer juice. So water or soda, any of the two, and I'm okay. I drink soda for breakfast, and I drink water for lunch, dinner, exercise, and snacks. But yeah, that's... But it's got to be cold. Like, the soda or water cannot be room temperature. They have to be cold.
Really struggle with, especially here on YouTube, is, how do I put this? Pronunciations. British people. What is going on? The UK knows how to spell words and how to pronounce them in ways that you would never imagine. Recently, I did a video about bonfire night, and there is a place in the UK spelled like this that has a huge bonfire celebration. It's very famous. Lots of people watch videos about it. To me, that looks like lose. Okay, I'm an English speaker. That looks like lose. However, people tell me it is pronounced Lewis.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
We also have this one,
I can see
which,
that.
Again, as an English speaker, English is my first language.
Bicester?
Contrary to popular belief,
Bitchester?
I would think this looks like Bicester.
Same.
Right? Kind of segment the word Bicester, something like that. No, not close. How about Bister? This one is a personal favorite.
Yeah, that's wild for that to be Bister. Yeah, okay, y'all are very different. Y'all. That's why Bister. I don't know how we came to Bister. I don't even know how to say Colmondelli. I don't know.
Just look at all those letters. Wow. Yeah. Would you ever look at that and think, oh, I love Chumley? Even
no way. Bro. UK Brits. Here. What's going? No way. How? That's not possible.
At that word in my head, I'll tell you right now. Well, let's be honest. I'll tell you. Between
Thames or Thames?
I say Thames. In my head, I say that word and I say Thames. It's just, you'd think I'd be over it by now, but I can't. And God help me if I say the River Thames out loud. No. River Thames. I know it's River Thames. Don't worry about it. But in my head, it's a different story. And of course, this word, which I refuse to pronounce.
I don't know. So. I've heard it different. I've heard Worcester. I've heard Worcestershire. I heard Worcester. Not Worcester. I guess I just heard it the two ways. Worcester or Worcestershire are the two ways that I've heard it. How do you say it?
We're just going to leave that one there. And that is just like the smallest list ever. I've done videos on my channel like trying to pronounce places, and it just, it never ceases to surprise me. Year after year, I hear a new one and I think, there's no way that word is pronounced that way. I'm so sorry. Part of me thinks the UK does this to be funny.
Possibly.
You know, hundreds of years ago, they got together, they wrote these towns and cities and villages, they wrote the names, and they said, you know what would be really funny? If this is actually pronounced Chumley. Wouldn't that be funny? Leave a comment down below. What is a British thing for you that just makes sense? If you'd like to watch another video, which would be totally awesome, why not check out this one? Is British food better than the knockoff versions? But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!
That was a great video. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Y'all talk to me in the comment section how y'all felt about the video. Did y'all have an issue with anything that I said? I hope I didn't offend anyone by saying anything. But I love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and check out the next. I'll see you guys next time.